because the climaxes and wonderful things that are happening to the things they're cooking. So it's not going to be as organized, and it's going to be harder to take notes. I want to start by saying that outdoor cooking is anything you want it to be. Outdoor cooking can range from eating an apple to roasting an ox. It can be, in my 40 years of doing this sort of thing, I have roasted a goat, I have made blood sausage, I have made beanhole beans, and I'll share with you some of the other things. So it really depends on where you're going camping, because you don't always have a truck to carry the things that you need. You don't always have even a car or a cart. Sometimes you have to put it on your back and you have to carry it in. And if you're going to climb a mountain with something on your back, it better not be one of these 30-pound cast iron Dutch ovens, because that would break your back. So what you cook and how you cook it depends entirely on where you're at, where you're cooking, and what you're going to cook. Tonight we're going to show you some differences of different people who cook outside and have cooked things over the years. They have many things they've cooked. Brother Tim Hemm has been an outdoorsman for a long time. He's going to lead off tonight. He wants to get started with his chili, and then we'll be bopping in. I'll be talking about baking, and Kim is going to also talk about baking. Kim Morrison from Morocco is going to... No, you're not from Morocco? Over there in Newton County somewhere.
Lake Village.
Lake Village, excuse me. I have bad memories of Lake Village as a boy. And had an airport. At any rate, Brother Tim, lead us and start. While I put this oven together, if it looks like I don't know what I'm doing, it's because I don't know what I'm doing.
I'm going to give you just maybe a little insight of where I'm coming from, and it might make you understand just a little bit more about what we're doing here tonight. Kenny Healy over here is going to be helping with the presentation, and the reason Kenny's with me tonight is because Kenny and I each year team up and make upwards of 500 pounds of venison sausage, and we're going to be talking about that a little bit later in the evening. We're going to start off by talking about Resurrection Chili, and I asked Ken where that name came from, and we're still not quite sure where the name Resurrection Chili came from. The way I got started cooking chili was being involved in a youth ministry program at St. Augustine Parish years ago, back in the early 70s. We had a camping program where we taught the kids from the elementary school different camping skills, and chili became a part of that menu because it's very simple to make, and the way we would do it is each youngster would bring in a certain ingredient, we'd throw it in the pot, and we'd have a pot of chili. And that has evolved over the years to where we are now. Ken alluded to the fact that sometimes we don't have a truck to haul around the stuff that we need to cook our stuff. As you will see what we have here tonight, I'd hate to put all that in a backpack, but it certainly aids to have some good equipment when you're trying to feed 50 or 60 young people who are hungry, especially if they've been out running around all day. So the equipment that Kenny and I are going to be using probably isn't quite as primitive or scouter oriented as some of the other stuff that the other folks are going to be using tonight. Before I came in this evening, I did just a quick calculation. It was kind of a guesstimate because I know that we've made chili regularly several times a year since 1972. It's a lot of years. That's a lot of chili. My calculations, and they could be off 100 pounds or so, but the calculations I have show that we've made over those years approximately 3/4 of a ton of chili. Something else that needs to be said if anybody is planning on taking any notes tonight about a recipe, you might just as well forget it, because we never have used a recipe, and we probably never will. Although, if any of you ever bought a cookbook from, I think it originated up around Wheatfield, the parish up at Wheatfield, I believe, made a cookbook a number of years ago, and it had a recipe for my chili in it. And I have no idea how that got in there or where they got the recipe, but I don't use a recipe. So we're going to get started making this chili, and as Ken said, we're going to just get you started on the thing, and then we're going to turn it over to them, and when we get ready to dump something else in, we're going to shut them off for a minute and show you what we're doing. If anybody wants to ask a question during the process, feel free. You can use different kinds of meat. We've chosen to use beef tonight. A lot of people in this area use venison because there's so much venison around. Again, when you're used to cooking for 50 young folks, you do it as quickly as you can. What we're going to do is just start the meat browning. And I usually like to brown the meat, and once the meat is brown, see, now we're not going to have a big enough kettle. Once the meat is brown, then I like to throw in some of the seasoning and add some onions, and then the rest of the ingredients. Ken, you guys ready to go? This is going to take us a little bit to get this brown.
All right. Kim, you want to say something when I get started here? I'm still trying to put Curry's oven together here.
Well, we're really organized, aren't we? You know, when Ken talked to me about this coming out here tonight and doing a few things, I asked him, well, how many people? Oh, he said, we'll have 50 or 60. And I'm thinking, sure, 50 or 60. Well, by golly, he's right. Then I'm thinking tonight, you know, 0, 5 below, nah, 25, maybe 30. Wrong again. I guess it pays attention to listen to the doctor, right? Okay, can somebody give me a definition of a good leader? A very short, one-sentence definition of what a good leader is?
He's always on time.
Always on time. That's a good answer. A lot of leaders aren't on time. One sentence. You guys think about it. You guys think about it. Definition. One sentence of a good leader. What do you got, Carol?
A leader makes a decision and gets going.
A leader makes a decision and gets going. Well, that's pretty close to what I was going to say. A good leader is simply someone that knows where they want to go and gets up and goes. That's a good leader. That's what's going to happen here tonight. We're going to get up and go on this chili, I think. Anyway, another thing that kind of pertains to cooking a little bit is a little definition I heard. Do you know why being a woman is so difficult? Why is being a woman so difficult? Now come on, moms, girls, let's have some answers. Why is being a woman so difficult? It's your job? What do you think, Sharon?
Because you have to put up with men.
Because you deal principally with men. This is correct. And tonight, isn't it strange you only got men up here cooking? Well,
Nice change.
you got it. Ken referred to something about not having a car or a truck to haul some of this stuff in. How many of you have been out, say, to Turkey Run and hiked the trails? Been down in the river fishing? Walk through the park or walk along the river? And you wish I had something to eat. You know, I'm kind of hungry. You know, we all kind of round out when we get to my age. But, you know, you want something to snack on. There's really nothing available. Y'all carry fanny packs sometimes. Well, the Scouts have something they call gorp. Anybody know what gorp is besides Sharon and Carol? What's gorp?
Peanuts and raisins.
That's right. Quick energy that you can eat while you're walking, watching the birds or the eagles over on the river or whatever. Gorp, trail food. What's a good trail food? Quick energy, light, because you're carrying it. We ain't hauling it in a truck now. and a half pound will last you all day. A good gorp recipe is M&Ms, you know, the ones that don't melt in your hand. I use equal amounts, a handful of M&Ms, a handful of raisins. Now my wife likes prunes in hers. Believe it or not, prunes, raisins, dried peaches, dried banana chips, dried apples, anything with the M&Ms, or a bag of peanuts, or a bag of sunflower seeds. Just whatever you like. Dump in a plastic bag, Ziploc, stick it in your pocket, pull it out, eat it. No problem, it's wonderful. But I'm going to talk a little bit about something called Hawaiian Donuts. Now, cooking outdoors, number one, has to be fun. Now, I see some frowns. Cooking is fun, or it ought to be fun. And if you're outdoors, you're not going outdoors to cook, you're being outdoors for other things. So your recipes, or whatever you're cooking, it's got to be quick. It's got to be easy. I mean, gee whiz, who wants to wash dishes outside when the sun is shining and the kids are playing and you're having a great time? You don't want to be stuck around a campfire washing dishes. So your recipes should be quick, easy, simple, and I'll give you a little secret. Do as much as you can at home. That's the easiest way. Do as much as you can at home. Or when you get out there on a camping trip or out at the park or on a picnic, you just start a little fire, throw it in the fire, and let it go. And that's what my Hawaiian donuts are for. Throw it in the fire, do something else for a few minutes, and your Hawaiian donuts are ready. Now, two things you need to consider when you're getting ready to go on your outing. Refrigeration, and transportation. Now, we all know the safety elements about, uncooked eggs, raw meat. So consider these elements in what you're going to prepare. I mean, you don't need somebody getting sick, food poisoning, potato salad. Be careful on these things. Transportation and refrigeration. If you can handle your recipe on those two items, you'll have a good time. Now, Hawaiian donuts. I'm not like this guy on TV. I had to bring everything in Ziploc bags. Hawaiian donuts, really easy. You just take plain old cake donuts. That's all it is, plain old cake donuts. You cut it in half. You make 2 rings. That's all it is, 2 rings. And you butter both rings. Now, we're not quite finished yet because I'm out of hands. Gee whiz, all the students are taking notes. Everybody's taking notes. Well, you got 2 rings with butter on it. Then you simply take, and I like a lot of brown sugar. Okay? I even brought this in a little bag here. I watched that on that guy on TV. He got it all in little bowls. Well, I got to use plastic bags here. But I like brown sugar, and I like a lot of it. And you just sprinkle this brown sugar right on top of that butter. Just like so. We're really measuring here now, and that's why I say do it at home. Now, the reason we call it Hawaiian donuts, can anybody come up with a reason why we call it Hawaiian donuts?
There's going to be pineapple in there somewhere.
He saw it over here. So you got a cake donut, cut in half, 2 rings, a little butter, and a lot of brown sugar. And you just take an old pineapple ring. Now, for information, Dole pineapple, if you buy the regular cans, they got 10 slices to a can. Then you just take a pineapple ring, you just lay it on top of one of them rings like so. You put the other half on top, and in reality, all you have is a nice little sandwich. Now, Doc, what'd you do with my little piece of tin foil?
It fell down here on the floor. Right there.
Okay. So, quick, easy, and you just stick it in a piece of tin foil and wrap up. You know, tin foil is the most versatile thing in the world there is. Most versatile thing in the world. You know, with a piece of tin foil in your pocket, I mean a piece so wide and so long, folded up, stuck in your pocket. You got drinking cups, you got a pot, You got a reflector oven. You can wrap it around yourself for to keep yourself warm. You can use it for a reflector. Tin foil is it's. I'm going to say it was almost as well. I'm going to keep quiet here. Tin foil is the most versatile thing in the world. I mean, who wants to lug around one of these things? Thing's got to weigh 50 pounds. Dutch oven. Imagine cooking in this thing. It's got to weigh 50 pounds. Piece of tin foil will do the same thing. Much lighter, and I guarantee you a whole lot cheaper. But anyway, back to my donut. All you do is just kind of roll it up, crimp it a little bit, you know. Nothing fancy here. Here, catch. Hey, easy, simple. You can do it at home. You can do it at home. All the mess, all the fuss, all the bugs, you know, they're outdoors. You're going to do this inside, stick it in a sack like I got a whole bunch of other ones. Right here. Actually, there's 25 of them in here because I went by what I thought was going to be right. 25 people tonight, so I made 25 of them. But just in case I was wrong, I stuck a nice big old knife in here. Where did it go? Here it is. So we now have 50 donuts. Now, if there's 51 people here, we're in trouble. Now, a little thing that you can do on these Hawaiian donuts, which are kind of fun, you can take one or two of them, stick a maraschino cherry in it. You know, in that center of the hole, wherever the hole went, you stick a maraschino cherry in there. You just kind of roll it up, tell the kids or your aunts or your uncles or the grandmas or the grandfather, whoever's in your group, say, hey, now, one of them's got a prize in it. One of them's got a prize. That's that maraschino cherry. Well, those don't have any maraschino cherries in it. You know, everybody's refrigerator at home's got a jar of maraschino cherries in it. Every one of you got a refrigerator. I'll almost guarantee you got a half a jar with 2 or 3 maraschino cherries in it. We didn't have any. So there's no prizes in that bag tonight. Now, Doctor, how am I going to cook this? You got a big old oven on my stove. I guess, does the oven in there work?
There's no oven in there.
There's no oven in there.
We got
Well,
an oven right here.
we're going to cook them.
See this oven?
Okay. Now, what kind of fire do you need for this? Any kind of a fire you can get going. Doesn't. Am I walking around too much? First time I've ever been on a video. Okay. What kind of a fire do you need? Any kind of a fire you can get started. If it's out of leaves, that's wonderful. If it's out of charcoal, that's better yet. If you use a kitchen stove or the microwave, fantastic. But how much do I cook this? Sure. 1/3 by volume. Won't hurt your microwave. But anyway, that's in my microwave. And I don't know about your microwave, Carol. All you want to do is to heat this. You're not cooking anything. You're just going to heat it. Warm it up. Kind of melt that butter down inside that cake donut. Maybe take the chill off of that. You know, it is below zero outside. Take that chill off of the pineapple slice. And it kind of gets warm and the juice all kind of runs through. It's a great thing to serve kids before you're ready to tuck them in about 9:30 at night, especially in the wintertime. A little protein in the belly. They sleep a little better. We all sleep better when we have a snack before we go to bed. At least I do. Okay. All you're going to do is warm it. If it's too hot for you to pick up and handle, it's almost too hot to eat. Goodness gracious, we don't want to burn anybody, do we? Okay, so all you're going to do is warm it. Now, I had some for last weekend at a camp out we had, and I had 3 extras. Kids, I fixed more than the number that we had in our party, and I brought them home. My grandkids came and visited us. And Grandpa, what do you got in the sack? I said, I got Hawaiian Donuts. Well, we never had Hawaiian Donuts. Turn the oven on, kid. We popped them in the oven. They thought they were fantastic. Now, you might call it pineapple upside down cake in a tinfoil sack. I don't know. Tastes like pineapple upside down cake. Tastes like Hawaiian Donuts to me. I'm ready. I'm done. Who's next? You guys ready?
We got to dump some more
Okay.
stuff in here.
I can keep this up now. I'm talking faster than these girls can write.
We think we're going to demonstrate an oven tonight. There are several kinds of ovens I'm going to show you. This oven is made by Coleman. Oh, and the problem is keeping the grate up here, Coachies, and I'm going to try. My problem is I don't have the sides and good and solid. But I mean, you fire that up and you put this on top of a Pullman stove, and it's just supposed to just be wonderful. Is that right? Mark? Well, that'll do it. See, that's enough. You can just bake.
Fine, is it lit yet?
No, you gotta light the stove.
Well, I put matches up here.
Oh.
Everybody hold yours. Thing may explode.
Yeah.
Okay, we got our ground beef cooked down pretty well, and Kenny's been dicing up some onions. As far as proportions, you just dump in, you know, like if I was making chili for myself, it'd probably be equal parts of ground beef and onions. A lot of people don't like onions. We got to the point where cooking for 50 kids was really difficult to try to figure out proportions, and we came up with a kind of an easy way to do it. These gallon cans, or whatever they are, number 10 cans you can buy like at Sam's. Those weigh roughly 6 pounds for like tomatoes and beans. Take 6 pounds of beans, 6 pounds of tomatoes, 6 pounds of ground beef, and then 3-4 pounds of onions, and then whatever seasonings you want to use. You can see the different seasonings here. Cayenne pepper, of course, is a great one if you like hot stuff. We got a couple different kinds of chili powder, seasoned salt, garlic, and black pepper. And then Budweiser, of course, goes in the chili, not in the cook. And chili beans will go in a little bit, as well as tomatoes. So we're going to throw these onions in and some of the seasoning and let it cook for a little bit more and kind of get your taste buds going. And turn things back over to Ken.
Okay. Now I'm ready to talk about baking. Baking can be done a great many ways, but I put up here, I'm not a subsidiary of General Mills, but on the other hand, Bisquick is all you need. Bisquick is a product introduced originally by the Shakers back in the 1700s, and they would put their women to work blending flour and baking powder and lard, and they'd make huge closets full of this stuff so that they could have baking powder from which they made all their biscuits. And lo and behold, later on we buy it as Bisquick. Bisquick is different than ready-to-use flour because it's already got shortening in it, which means young people today don't want to use that because it's high fat. So now, lo and behold, they have a low-fat Bisquick available. But this is the original Bisquick we'll be cooking with tonight. All of the recipes that you see prepared for you today have been prepared in quantity, and you will be sampling them later in the next room. We're going to try to do a pizza. We can get that oven to work. And we're going to be looking at Cobbler. And I'm going to be using y'all to help me because I'm very tired. And I need lots of help. Baking can be done as simply as, I brought some sticks. And the most simple form of baking, he found them. Look at there. I went up and gathered these sticks last night. And these are nature's original primitive oven. You simply break the stick. Use these to make dough. And I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to cut the sticks open before I break the sticks because these are very dry sticks. And they will, are you a pretty good baker?
Sure.
And you're a baker. And you're a baker. Okay. Now, our bakers here we're a little disorganized. Has anybody seen a bag with some more Bisquick in it? It's sitting around here. Oh, here it is. Here's a box of Bisquick for you. And you need a helper. Do you have a helper?
Sure.
There's a box of Bisquick for you. Get a helper. See? And your helper needs a stick. Helpers have to have sticks.
We'll help each other.
The whittled part of the stick is the clean part. Some of these guys are going to college, so we have to tell them that part.
I didn't buy it.
Here we go. Want a stick? I have extra sticks. Open your Bisquick. And another rule is we do not like to dirty dishes. Because if we dirty dishes, we have to wash the dishes. And open the box of Bisquick carefully so as not to break the powder. I have here a canteen of water. That's it. Okay, now take your clean stick and make a little hole in the Bisquick. Level it out there and make a hole there.
All the way down?
Not too deep a hole, just a hole. That's good. We're going to pour some water in your hole. And you start stirring that and see what happens. Stir right around that hole. And see what happens. You got a hole? Oh, that's a big hole.
Really?
Smaller hole than that. Well, you'll make the whole box, I can tell. That's good. What are you getting? Now don't mess it up. Keep it neat. Keep it just a little. Keep it neat. Don't
stir the whole thing up?
I don't want you to stir the whole box up. Just, I want you to make me some dough on the end of that stick. Well, a little more than that. How you doing?
I might need more water.
Oh, you're going to make the whole box, I can tell. By the way, this is a wonderful thing to just mix the whole box in. The idea is that if we work at it pretty hard, we can, yeah, we'll give you more water. Go ahead and mix up your box of Bisquick. Now don't get it too soupy. Bisquick is pancakes. Bisquick is waffles. Bisquick is biscuits. Bisquick is pizza. Bisquick is pies and cakes. And once made, they can be baked in a big Dutch oven, such as this. Smaller Dutch ovens, such as these. Had a friend Woody Woodruff. Some of you knew Woody. These are Woody's ovens. Woody would put on cooking demonstrations in which he would cook his meat and potatoes, and then he'd cook his dessert, pie and cake on the top, and he'd have 4 of these stacked up. And these are Dutch ovens. That's a Dutch oven. This is an oven over here. And how's it coming? Hey, look, she's got some dough on a stick. Do you realize the most primitive baking is if you take this and try to nudge Brother Tim over a little bit and hold this up here. No, uh-oh. She's going to give me one. I'm baking. Okay? I'm baking. So bread on a stick is a form of baking. I can put it in a Dutch oven. I can put it in an oven on top of the stove. Or, Kim, you want to hold up that reflector oven over there?
Go over on this side?
Yeah. It's starting to bake. Why don't you come over here and bake your bread up there on Brother Tim. This is called a reflector oven. And reflector ovens come in all sizes. This is a small little one that fits in a pack sack pretty well. It doesn't weigh much because it's aluminum. The idea is you set this down next to a campfire and then put your things you want to bake right there. And then you set this right up to the campfire like so. And you can bake on that. I have done pies on that. How you got? What you get?
Yeah.
Hey, so you got one? Come up here and make a biscuit. See what we got. And you guys, we're saving you guys for something special.
Who, me?
Yeah, we're gonna get those.
You want me to quit mine?
No, yours is gonna. You're gonna make a lining for this Dutch oven. See? Just put that right in there,
I'm gonna make some more.
and then make more. Keep going. Doing good.
Good.
I need to interrupt here. This will make sense to those of you who were here last week. Heard Buzz Colai's presentation on hunting. Something that's become very dangerous just in the past year or two. If you choose to use Budweiser when you put it in your chili, you really got to watch out and be sure that frog isn't hiding around a tree somewhere, or you're liable to have a great big bullfrog in your chili. Isn't that right, Buzz?
I guess so.
If you drop your biscuit into the fire, it burns up.
No bread.
No bread. Well, go ahead and mix up a whole bunch and help those guys over there, because they're trying to fill that whole pan over there with dough. So baking, we got to make a pizza crust too. So we need to make a lot of stuff. We're going to use our boxes as mixing bowls because we're basically lazy campers and we don't really want to wash the bowls and get out rolling pins like your mother taught you to do, because that's work. We get done, we throw the boxes and we throw the sticks and everything right into the campfire, and it's all biodegradable. Burns up.
Be ready shortly.
How are the biscuits coming? Are they edible yet? Well, they're a little doughy yet, I'll bet. Yeah. So these guys are putting together a Dutch oven thing, and then we've got to make a pizza. You guys pretty good at making pizzas?
We're great at making pizza.
Good. We're going to make a pizza.
Got a microwave?
We do not have a microwave.
We can't make pizza.
Got a telephone?
Fast delivery.
More dough.
Bisquick, when used, the quality of the Bisquick and what you bake with it depends on what you mix it with. They're mixing basically water and Bisquick. That's going to make a biscuit. If you use milk and Bisquick, it's going to make it a little finer. You're going to come up with a cake. If you mix half and half in Bisquick, you've got a real cake. And that's a very nice shortcake. Last night, thinking that I might need some help, and these guys have definitely got the message here. They're doing it. They're lining a Dutch oven with Bisquick and water crust. And that's exactly what we want done. And then we're going to do a pan the same way. We're going to do the pan into a pizza. This is our pizza pan. Right here. So you can start on the pizza whenever you're ready. What?
Are we going to go up on the side too or no?
What? Oh, we need another stick. Walt's got a stick he can loan.
I got all the messy stuff. Ooh, come on.
Some needs to go in here.
Yes,
That's good.
we're gonna make a pizza.
Yeah, oh yeah.
What's this thing in this pan we're making?
A little worried about burning the hole at the bottom of this pan
Upside double roll
from the
bubble cake.
inside out.
Nick's good.
Hey, can I serve some donuts?
Surely.
Thought they had chili. Look at Mary still cooking her dough.
It's raw on the inside.
Who wants to be the guinea pig? These guys are all working up here. You want to cut that donut right square in half. Watch your hand, that knife is very sharp. Oh, very, very sharp. You got a surgeon there, so.
Now, I made my donuts in the other room, and they came out, or my biscuits came out something like this. There'll be more of these for you to sample.
Should I put my biscuit on there too?
Sure. Did you taste it? Is it ready?
What do you think? Think the grandkids will like that?
Might be a little raw on the inside. Chewy.
It's not raw, it's chili.
Chewy on the inside.
Mine are a little better done, I think.
You're so studious, we'll occupy the other hand. Try that. Oh, wait, she's prettier than me.
I think we can probably end up filter.
The very first meal I ever made as a young Boy Scout was cooked in an aluminum pan. Cooking in aluminum is very bad because aluminum heats quickly. It's hard to control the heat. Iron is much better, but it's much heavier, so it's a compromise. The potatoes were raw, the meat was raw. I secretly went out and buried it and told everybody it was really good.
You guys are all working yet.
Usually it works so you can eat.
Who wants this?
Do you want more? Do you want more?
Is that good?
What do you
But
think?
you gotta get the sides.
Oh.
Here you go.
I'll take one to the side.
Oh, we're talking GPS.
Sheet this.
Especially on a cold night like this.
We don't even know what end You got a popcorn button on the way
Don't have one?
in Utah.
Sure.
Microwave.
We're going to take a break now, and we're going to let you have a chance to eat.
Even up.
You can see what they're doing now. Be good with that pizza because that's our best pizza. I was kind of counting on that.
Looking good.
Okay, I got the oven heating up. In the next room, you will find, I call these scones, I cheat. I put a little sugar in them so they're sweet. You'll find scones, you'll find a peach cobbler. Basically, if you take this Dutch oven and you line it with
So your dough's gotta go.
dough as they are doing, and then you take a number 10 can of sliced peaches and dump in there, and you add a top crust, you get, pass me that, Jen. No, the top one.
She discovered rulers.
Yeah. You get this. Okay?
That's what
And
I'm
this,
making?
that's what you're making.
What did you build?
Yours is supposed to look like this.
So I gotta put it all the way up here?
Well, no. You
No
need,
rise?
you need peaches and stuff. But this will be for your tasting too. So we'll put that back in there, Jim.
You gotta just line.
So let's take a break, sample some of the wares. We'll meet back here and make some ice cream and talk about camp ice cream.
This pot of chili's ready to go too. We'll take it back, but it is very hot temperature-wise, so we'll probably need Ken's ice cream when we come back.
Eat yours?
I know some of you may not be that hungry, but eat anyways, all right? You want to say thank you to the cooks, is all you like.
And that'll be ready to sample. We're putting it right in there. So we got the pizza going. We have some people during break asked questions about the Dutch ovens. Woody Woodruff made these. They can be stacked, and he used to say, put 6 charcoal briquettes around, and you can stack them forever. Classically, Dutch oven cooking, however, you simply set it in the ashes, the hot ashes, and then take your camp shovel and put more hot ashes on top. John Ahler told me to remind you 2 rules. 1, don't look inside to see if it's done yet, because you will get ashes all over the place. And rule 2 is never leave home without your tool, because there's no way you can lift that Dutch oven lid with a stick. It will break, and the ashes will fall in your food, and it'll be a mess. So, a pair of these wonderful tongs. These are Woody's tongs, by the way. You can get them anywhere. These are cast aluminum tongs, and they lift these lids up and lift up hot pans very nicely. That's what I loaded and unloaded this oven with. It's red hot in there. So next we're going to talk about ice cream. And although tonight may not be an appropriate night for ice cream, we're going to make it anyway. Again, we do not want to bring 1,000 pieces of equipment and 4 truckloads of stuff to a campsite. We want something that's biodegradable. We can get rid of it. We can leave it all behind us to erode into the thing. So we've chosen coffee cans as our ice cream makers, and we've mixed up some Renin tablets, some half and half, some sugar, and we're going to pour this mixture into the containers, being careful not to fill them too full, because guess what happens as it becomes ice cream? It expands. When the lids pop off, then you got a mess. We do not like messes. We have the little lids. We go on here, like so. And this one I pre-poured a while ago. So I have the makings here of 5 quarts of ice cream, vanilla, made with whole bean vanilla. Now, these are our ice cream mixers. And what we do you know how hard it is to find ice cream salt in February? Rensselaer, Indiana. Very hard. Just happen to have a bucket of ice. And pour the salt and the ice. And again, I'm not trying to make too much of a mess.
That's right, we did.
At this point, I need some volunteers. Who wants to volunteer? Good. You in charge of this one?
I was pointing. No, I do it.
Now don't spell it. You in charge of this one? You're in charge of this one. Now, the lids
That's okay.
are up here. If you don't have a lid, hold up your hand. More volunteers. There's a volunteer right here. I can see her. There we go. Now you volunteers. One more. Okay, pass that right back to them. Where's my big spoon? I need a big spoon because volunteers now have to come and get ice and salt and put around their. Now be sure you put the lid tight on your ice cream because we do not want salt in our ice cream. The salt makes the ice temperature much lower. Here's the spoon to ladle the salt. You want most of the salt with a little. Put the lid on, then the idea is to roll it on the carpet and start rolling it back and forth.
Ken, what temperature did you want the oven at? It's up to 400 now.
Yeah, that's a good hot oven, isn't it? How are the pizzas?
I can smell them. Careful, you get ash out of
Whoa! Pizza! Oh no, is that done?
Ice cream? How much ice? How much is you supposed to fill it up or what?
About almost full.
Yes.
Oh, that one's done. Dr. Ahler?
Yes.
That mixture again?
The ice cream mixture that I made here is 4 quarts of half and half, 6 Rennet tablets, junket Rennet tablets, 2 cups of sugar. Dissolve the Rennet tablets in a little water. Add it to the cream mixture. 6 teaspoons of vanilla. And that's it. You have to heat that just a little bit because you want the Rennet to activate and kind of thicken the cream. And that's what's happening now. I'll tell you how that really works nice. If you get a partner and you just kind of roll the ball back and forth. On the floor, it works really nice. It rolls real nice. I've seen boys roll those all afternoon. It makes ice cream. And the nice thing about these ice cream makers is, you take these cans, throw them in the campfire, burn them out, don't rust out, 6 months and nobody will ever know they were cans. Totally biodegradable. And you don't have to carry home the dirty ice cream maker. So, better turn that down a little more, I suppose.
I turned it down about. Should I just turn it off for a little bit?
No, I think we can go to the center. Pizzas are getting
Or you
done.
could have like some ice and get it stuff and you had like the cooler.
Pizzas are getting done. While we're making this ice cream, I want you to look at my Big Daddy skillet. My son bought me this. I'm still looking for the occasion to use it. It says that this will cook 5 frying chickens, 1 dozen eggs or 30 scrambled, 5 pounds of bacon, or 5 to 8 pounds of potatoes.
8 pounds of potatoes.
You can really cook up a mess in that. This is Walt told me I should buy an aluminum one, but again, it's a trade-off. Worst thing you can make, and the thing that everybody wants to make on their first camping trip is pancakes. And it's the worst thing for you to make. Pancakes require an even, steady heat. And if you want burnt mess, I can't tell you how many 100,000 pancakes have been destroyed by Boy Scouts on camping trips. A good iron griddle makes the best pancakes. It's heavy, and you can't backpack it. Well, they're making ice cream. Tim, tell us about venison sausage. Where'd he go? Is he here?
We're out to get a deer. While they're making their ice cream, and we're going to tell you a little bit about how to make venison sausage. While we're doing that, we're going to pass a couple plates of sausage and cheese around for you to try, see if you like it. Venison summer sausage and cooking all kinds of venison has become very popular with all the deer that there are around anymore. People are finding all different kinds of ways to use it. The first venison sausage that I ever made was chemically treated with liquid smoke. It was kind of chopped up with a chopper rather than ground. It was put together without the use of a casing, and it was, as I say, liquid smoked in an oven. And we thought for a couple years that was pretty good. And then we got access to a meat grinder that really would grind the meat, and the attachments to be able to stuff it into a casing. And then we got access to the seasoning, and a real good recipe for the seasoning. And Kenny and I started working together because it's definitely a two-person process to grind it and stuff it. And we've been doing that for probably 5 years now. As I said earlier, we make upwards of 500 pounds a year. You want to talk a little bit? My voice is getting, is it?
Probably one of the most important parts in the beginning of the process is when we make it, you need to have the deer and the venison clean. A lot of guys don't take the time and process the deer right, clean it out, wash it down. When you get to that point, you need to make sure that he's washed out real good, all the blood as much as you can, and hung out and drained real well. And then when you're in the skinning process, I mean, the biggest thing is trying to keep as much hair off of it as possible. If you do have hair on there, one of the easiest ways to get it off is just take some masking tape or whatever, and it'll pick that hair off there. For us, we have industrial size grinders, so we try to chunk everything about the size of a baseball or smaller. It goes through our grinder a lot better that way. We do double grind everything. And to start off, we grind it through a 3/8 plate. Yeah, 3/8. Through a 3/8 size plate. The recipe that we use is figured on 40 pounds of ground venison. And to that 40 pounds of ground venison, there would be 8 pounds of whole pork sausage added to it. That gives the sausage the part of the flavoring. And then there's 2 pounds of seasoning that goes in there that gives it the flavor also. And also this in there, this is called preg powder, this pig stuff. There's about 13 teaspoonfuls to a 50-pound load. And what this does, this is what kills all the botulism and all the germs and everything. So when we mix it and we let it hang before we smoke it, this is what actually cures it and kills all the botulism. You don't have to worry about food poisoning, salmonella, and everything else. And this is called preg powder. Once we grind it the first time, we'll mix in the 8 pounds of whole pork sausage, 2 pounds of seasoning, and then we mix it, and we run it through a second time through a 7/16 plate, which is a big plate. It just stuffs a lot easier that way. This is the casing that we use. It actually comes dry like this. You put them in hot water, they get real pliable, and they're easy to work with. We have the regular hog rings, we have the whole setup. So once you get it all mixed and everything, this is the stuffing tube that we put on our grinder. And then you can just, the casings fit right over it. And we can fill one of these, there's about 2.5 pounds in here. And we can fill one of these in about 30 seconds. We can go, if we're working hard, we can go through a 50-pound load in about a half hour. Have ground stuff and tied.
When we finish up, when you get this full and you tie off that end, you tie 2 of them together. That's a part of the process. And then when they're smoked, it's real easy to lift them out of the pan. There's a string between the two. You hang them over your smoke stick in the smoker and put them back in the back of the smoker. And we have a large refrigerator, freezer, actually industrial freezer, that's we've converted over to be a smokehouse. We figure we can smoke about 300 pounds. We could do 300 pounds at one time.
200 pounds works better.
200 pounds works better.
And it's an all-day process to smoke, but it takes about 8 hours to get the product finished. You can go through that. You know, you do more of that.
Yeah, the smoking process, we've gotten a little bit lazy as we try to do more of it, and we set it up so a timer comes on in the middle of the night and turns an electric burner on to start heating the smokehouse up, so that when a more suitable hour for rising comes, all you got to do is go out and then you can stoke the fire up. We use electric hot plates as well as LP grill, gas grill, for our fire source, depending upon the temperature and the wind. We try to
Don't run out of ice.
Run it about 135 degrees in the smoker for 4 hours with a real heavy, they call it a smudge in the business. That's a real heavy smoke. We use hickory bark for our smoke. Run it for 4 hours at around 135, 140 degrees inside the box. Then after about 4 hours, try to get the temperature up to 165, and then watch the sausage, and when it, as quick as it turns 140 degrees internal temperature, or 145, you shut it down and hose it off with cold water, seal up the smoker, and let them sit overnight. And the following day, they're ready to be cut out of the smokehouse and wrapped in the plastic wrap. We do a double wrap, a plastic wrap, and then the regular butcher paper. And you can keep it in the freezer for a year, and it's still very good after. It's best out of the smoker when it's still a little bit warm. That's when it's the absolute best, but you can't keep smoking every day and have it fresh.
We'll pass this around. This is the finished product. This is like it would come out of the smoker. And then we cut it apart and see it's still got a string partially on it. But this is how tight it's cased and everything.
We'll pass these 2 jars around if you'd like to kind of get a whiff of what the seasonings are. This is a pre-prepared seasoning, and it includes black pepper, salt, powdered dextrose, the Craig powder, as Kenny mentioned, that's the pink stuff, coriander, ginger, mustard, garlic, corn syrup solids, and fermento. Generally, as you may have picked up from the little discussion we had about chili, I like to adjust recipes a little bit. And when I'm smoking for other people, they're always going to be very careful that mine does not get mixed up with theirs, because I like to dump in some either whole or crushed black pepper and red pepper to give it a little bit more of a wang. A lot of the people that we smoke for do not like it, other than just the way it's supposed to be out of the book.
And speaking of books, this is actually the company that we get our seasoning from. So if anybody wants to do their own or whatever, we got some extras. You can pick one of these up. We'll leave them up here. You can do bologna. They got all kinds of recipes in here. So if you're into doing that kind of stuff yourself, why? They're free. Pass them around. If you want to look at them.
On those missions to space, when the astronauts go up and they don't have these wonderful things to make ice cream, I thought you might like to taste and sample some astronaut ice cream. This is actually free-dried, real ice cream that is sent on space missions with NASA. It weighs less than an ounce and does fit into a backpack very nicely. Pass it around, try a piece. If you've never had astronaut ice cream, you won't be able to say that anymore.
How long does this process take? How long does this process take?
I might check. It might be ice cream now. Take a peek in there. See if ice cream is it?
Been here already. Been here already. Just keep it. There you go.
Oh, there's ice cream. Oh, put the lid on quick. Keep it cold. You gotta keep it cold until it's time to eat it.
Are there folks that would like more sausage? We can cut this up if there's folks to eat it. I think that would be yes.
I have one more thing, and I admit I was going to cook this tonight. I don't think I'm going to cook it tonight. I'm exhausted. This is 4 actual trail packets of real food from Philmont Scout Ranch in New Mexico. When you are backpacking, when you are going up into the hills, You are not going to see anybody else. You are going to get your water from the nearest stream. You are, unless you catch it, you may not eat it. This is what you take along. Your tent, your backpack, and one of these. You say, is it good? To quote my youngest son, James, he said, the first day out you say, I'm not going to eat that. The second day you say, it's not so bad. The third day you say, are you going to eat that yourself?
Can I comment on that?
Yes.
I've been to Philmont 3 times, and I'm going to talk about that experience in a couple weeks. One of the things that we swore was more important than toothbrushes and all these other kind of things that you put in your pack was a small bottle of Tabasco sauce to make the trail food palatable.
This is dinner number 4. Mashed potatoes, beef and gravy, peas, banana cream pudding, and fruit punch. Add water. Breakfast number 5.
There you go.
Great breakfast drink, Western omelet, Sierra coffee cake, sweet milk cocoa. Does it bring memories, Tim? And lunch number 3. The lunches are really boring.
How much does that run?
What does this run?
I mean, cost.
For a day or a package?
8 packets like that for 4.
Meal for 4 runs about $4, $4 or $5
For each person?
per package.
Per package.
So dinner for 4 is like $4 or $5. So here I have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I can buy this for about $15.
Yeah, why?
Okay? It weighs not very much. And if you're going up in the mountain, you're backpacking, this you take with. Lunch number 3, and this is the one you really get sick of. Chicken salad spread. Sound good, Tim?
That's where the Tabasco really...
The first day you eat it, you say, well, this is pretty good. There's nothing wrong with this. Second day you say, oh, we got that again. Third day you say, oh, Lord, look what they gave again, you know. And then about the 4 days you say, I'll trade you my chicken salad for your crackers. Pineapple chunks and fruit punch. I'll pass these around. You can look at them and feel them. I'm not going to cook them tonight. I had intended. Maybe if Tim's got time, we'll cook them up for your
Hey, that might be good.
high adventure thing. But pass those around. Look at what backpacking food. Individual pouches with those things in there. The ice cream is ready. The pizzas are ready. We're ready to eat again, guys. All right, now's your time to stop. Give us questions.
Could that use the other room?
Kim, do you feel like asking questions, answering questions? Or?
Sure, we can answer questions.
Sure, well, we'll take all your questions. What questions do you have? I know they want to know how to roast and kill a goat on the tree.
Roast, kill a goat.
I've done that.
Do you have any more suggestions about cooking venison outdoors or otherwise?
Oh, all kind of suggestions. They always say you can do with venison anything you can do with a good cut of beef. Venison tenderloin cooked on the grill in foil, it'll rival any kind of feast in a restaurant.
You ever do venison Diane?
Yes, venison Diane, as a matter of fact. Larry Jenkins came up, I don't know whether he came up with this recipe, but Larry read the recipe to me while I did the cooking. That was one place where I had to follow the recipe, and then I'm not sure that we really did. I don't think we did. But you can cook it many, many different ways.
Take the round steak and marinate it in a little Italian dressing and cook it on a grill. Oh, that's...
You can, if you cut it real super thin, we talked about this earlier, It's real good in stir fry. You can cut it real thin strips and go ahead and put it in stir fry, and it works excellent in stir fry.
It's also very good to steak it and roll it in Cajun pepper and blacken it Cajun style in a cast iron skillet or on a grill or however you want to do it. It's very good that way. We used to, at our youth retreats at the parish on Friday night for the adult leaders, we'd take a half dozen or so venison steaks because we figured, well, the kids just won't eat this stuff. It lasted about one time, and we had to take about a half a deer because the kids, even down as far as 6th grade girls, would come and they'd grab that venison right off the stove and eat it. It was so good. So you can cook it about any way.
Did everybody get a chance to sample the Astronaut Ice Cream?
Poor guy.
Poor guys?
Yeah.
Simply out of this world.
Right. I'm going to try the Astronaut Ice Cream, Tim. I'll give you a good chance.
Tim, they're asking how to set up the real ice cream. Do you want that out in the other room?
Yeah, the real ice cream we'll put in the other room, and we'll all file by and try some of that. That's camp ice cream. When you get all done, you throw everything in the fire and burn it up and bury it. It's all trash. You don't have to bring it home. You don't have to wash it. You don't have to clean it. Have you noticed something?
No cleanup.
No cleanup. Sticks, boxes, tin cans. We're going to have to wash about 2 pots. I am. I don't know about Tim. Tim's going to have to wash more pots. Well, let's go in and eat ice cream. What do you say? Let's go eat ice cream and take these pizzas out that these guys made. And look at that.
Hey, Tim, you don't give another chance. I think these gentlemen deserve a real...
Oh, yeah. And